Well, it sure has been a while. Hi everybody. It's been a hot minute. I'm just gonna preface this video by saying that it is currently 2020. Shit's on fire. It's just, we all thought 2016 was a dumpster fire. And now, somehow the dumpster fire is a landfill fire. It's just a dump. I just want to say that to preface the fact that this video will probably end up being somewhat cynical because the world has trained me to be cynical right now, because that means that when things go well, I'm not disappointed. That's the preface. But today, we are complying with a long tradition of this channel and doing the gender tag. Now this will be my 6th version of this video. I try and do one every year just so that I have a cumulative record of how I understand gender and my thoughts about my own and, you know, the like. I'm a little sad because this is the first year in like 5 years that I'm not doing a video everyday project, and usually the gender tag is one of the videos I do during that, but like I just said, 2020 said no video everyday project for Kerr. So let's get into it. I'm gonna link the original video for this tag, plus write the questions in the description, so that if you want to do it or you want to find other videos like this one, it should be easier. I'll also link my gender and sexuality playlist, which will have all my gender videos, but then also anything where I talk about sexuality as a gay non-binary person, if that interests you. If not, then what are you doing here? So let's get into some questions. Number 1, how do you self-identify your gender and what does that mean for you? I feel like every year this answer gets shorter. I'm non-binary. That just means that I am not male, not female, not a mix of the two. My gender is wholly unrelated. It's like not even cousins, not even in-laws. We don't know each other. Gender, male and female, I don't know those people, they're strangers. Number 2, what pronouns honor you? Say this every time, but I love how that question is written. It's just so regal. My pronouns are they, them. 3, describe the style of clothing you most often wear. I don't know, anything that makes me look cool. I've gone on a bit of a journey fashion-wise since the last video, since the start of quarantine, to be quite honest. And I've been dressing a little more edgy, a little more out there. I think it's just, it's helpful to get used to wearing a certain type of clothes within yourself before you put it out into the public. So instead of like walking around in a mesh shirt with Renaissance angels paintings on it, when I get used to wearing it at home first, and I think that maybe what stopped me from wearing a lot of things before is that a lot of the time my trial run was also out in the world, which meant that I wasn't secure in myself yet. So being at home during quarantine and being responsible and not going anywhere means that I was able to get used to wearing certain things, how things fit me. If I needed to make an alteration to them, I can, because I now have a sewing machine and I love her very much. Her name is Bernadette. I've had a discussion with a couple of people, and I think Alex said that he definitely could see my clothes being punk inspired, which is very flattering. I think the most common thing about my outfits is that you look at me and you know that I am gay. You do not know which way I am gay or my own gender, but there's something undoubtedly queer about me, and that's kind of the desire. Going forward, I kind of want to look like I'm always overdressed for the occasion. It's interesting to me. So that, you might see that in future if I get around to making more videos. There's also the caveat that I've been learning a lot about fast fashion and trying to like be better, not give to corporations. What's really helpful is there's a lot of charity shops around my college. So while I was still attending college before the quarantine, I could like pop into a charity shop. I've also gotten into using Depop, but there's also the kind of the caveat of me being a larger person, being plus sized, whatever the brand wants to call me. So there is a complication there, and it's also very difficult to find necessities or basics like socks and underwear through charity shops, through Depop. So I'm trying to decrease the amount of fast fashion overall, or the amount of fast fashion that I buy direct from the direct seller, because the ethical implications. 4. I'm not going to be able to read this question without looking away. Talk about your choices with body hair. How do you style your hair? Do you have facial hair? What do you choose to shave or choose not to shave? One of the most consistent things I think across all of these videos is me talking about how I don't shave my legs anymore. And makes me quite happy to know that, you know, I've been going strong for a very long time. So yeah, I don't shave my legs. I only shave my underarms if I feel that hygienically it's necessary, because I sweat a lot and I feel like the hair makes the smell linger, and it's just a matter of day to day whether I do that. Most recent development, I now shave off my eyebrows. And as someone who is kind of known for having really good eyebrows, it felt real liberating to just get rid of them. To be fair, they've been like shrinking, so they would be like this long, and then over time they just slowly, just so that they were that long, and I just drew the tail however I wanted, and then I thought, fuck it, let's just get rid of them. I'm now rocking nothing. Also my hair. So if you've followed me anywhere, I had a shaved head for about 2 years. Well, it would be about 1 year and 9 months or so. I last shaved my head just before Christmas, and I've been growing out my hair ever since. And then like about 1.5 months ago, this is the length that I have gotten it to, so this hasn't been shaved since Christmas. And then a couple of weeks ago, about a month or 2 ago, I shaved the sides, which was something I had always planned on doing. And I'm really enjoying it. I trimmed it up the second time. It's a bit messy along the edges, I'll be honest, but I'm enjoying having a mullet. Who would have thought? Like I said, I just look gay wherever I go. Otherwise, I shave my mustache and I shave under my chin because I get a lot of spiky hair growth that just irritates me, so I just get rid of that. But yeah, that's all I shave. It's nice to have a different answer to questions sometimes. Number 5, talk about cosmetics. Do you choose to wear makeup? Do you paint your nails? What type of soaps and perfumes do you use, if any? I've never noticed it before, but the question seems to sort of imply that I might not use soap. So the idea of me just being a smelly bitch is unfortunately accurate. Like I said, quarantine. So clearly I wear makeup. And if anything, I've kind of stepped up my makeup game during quarantine. I think not having eyebrows kind of opened a world of possibilities, because instead of having a quite small space to do stuff in, I now have uninterrupted real estate to my hairline. It's just been so fun. I'm enjoying makeup so much more, and I talked about in the last video, but like the cosmetic industry, like it all sucks, it's fucking awful, blah blah blah, which yeah, everyone knows. But I think there is something nice about me embracing a kind of more alt makeup style, or kind of diverging away from the conventional standard of beauty and makeup. Like, I've never worn base makeup, it's just not interested. Any time I've had foundation, it's as an eye base for shadows. I used to wear concealer, I don't care to now. I wear blush occasionally. So it is nice to now have more space, but also more confidence in terms of fighting the typical, in the sense that I don't wear conventional makeup. I haven't had eyebrows in 2 months, and not having eyebrows is kind of a marker of being a normal person. I've been enjoying makeup much more than I have in years, and been very colourful. Like, I'm bright pink, but I've also been wearing a lot of greens, a lot of blues, a lot of reds, and it's just been so nice to do some fun stuff. And I think it also helps that it's, like I said with clothes, in quarantine I have the space to figure out what I enjoy and become confident in it before I put it out into the world. Whereas prior to quarantine, if I was going to try something new, I was going to do it on the day and then go out and see what happens, which is not that great for your confidence. Whereas now I'm spending months with myself, making sure this is something I enjoy, and if it isn't, then I can just wipe it off. I'm not stuck out in the world looking for baby wipes and fearing that I have makeup smeared everywhere. I'm safe to do it at home, and I'm safe to perfect it if I am worried that doing it wrong will change how people perceive me. And that's really comforting as a non-binary person, to feel a sense of security and control over how other people perceive you. And that's ultimately what makeup is, because makeup and clothes and presentation is about perception. And I can do art on my face and then forget about it, and then the rest of the world gets to reply to it, whether it be comment or insult or, you know, nothing. I think that those are all really helpful, and doing it in quarantine has been a really good thing for my self-esteem. Painting your nails, I went through a phase where I really enjoyed painting my nails, and I then stopped because I was lazy, and then I painted my nails and my nail varnish was shit, so I ended up picking it off and my nails look like shit. But I feel like this is also part of the gay aesthetic, is just like chipped shitty black nail varnish. Soaps and perfumes, whatever's cheap, whatever's there. Men's deodorant generally. I have perfume, I don't wear it. I should probably sell it. Number 6. Have you ever experienced being misgendered? If so, how often? I've talked about this before. As a non-binary person, it's kind of inevitable. It's not nice. It sucks. However, since going to college, I have found more respect is given to me than ever before. I think what's really wonderful about college is my tutors from day one said that, hey, put your pronouns, well, no, the SU, the student union, made a point of saying, put your pronouns on your wall where your name is while everyone gets to know each other. Talk to your tutors. If you use a name that's not the name on your information, let them know. And everyone is really wonderful about it. Everyone has said, like, oh, is this your name? Okay, let me change that. Or, oh, okay, thank you for correcting me. And I've had people who, like, there's like 30-year-old women in my course who are getting used to this world, who not really as versed in gender as maybe other people might be, who will like come up to me or text me and say, hey, I fucked up and I'm really sorry, I just want to make sure you're okay. And I really respect that. Everyone in college has been really wonderful. The student union are very, very good about making sure people are comfortable. And I've never had so many non-binary friends in person before. It's just wonderful. A lot of people I know are like earlier in their journey of accepting themselves and understanding things, and I think the fact that I keep making these videos is to make the point that gender is, even though my gender is fluid, my perception of how gender interacts with the world does change. And as someone who's been like talking about this and understanding this for a really long time, I have a lot of friends who are starting on this journey who ask me questions. They say, hey, where can I get a binder? Hey, can you try these pronouns for me? And it's been really wonderful to not be the only person in the room who's out, or You know, when everyone has to announce their pronouns in a room and you're the only one who isn't passing, or the only one who has pronouns different to what is expected of them. Before it kind of felt like they're humoring you, whereas in college I'm surrounded by wonderful trans people, wonderful non-binary people on different paths, on different levels of transition, who want different things, and we all talk about gender, and it's so wonderful to be open and happy and safe. And that's really important to me. So yes, I get misgendered by most of the population, but when I'm spending so much time in college prior to quarantine, I was leaving the house at 7 in the morning, getting to college at about 8 or half 8, and maybe leaving between 6 and 8. So I'm spending more than 12 hours in college some days where everyone respects me. And that's sadly uncommon. And it means a lot to me that people in my life respect me the way that everyone in college respects me. I'm never the only person in the room who is a little different. The fact that it's an art college means we're all different. We're all real fucking weird, and we're all gay. That's a lie. I have like 3 or 4 straight friends out of everyone. But the point still stands that college is the place where I am currently safest. And it's real nice that adults, people of authority above me, respect me, use my name, use my pronouns, alter their language, apologize, sidestep mistakes. Like, it's just really important that I experience that, and it's sad that I didn't experience it until I was 20. So that's all I have to say about that. Wow. 7. Do you experience dysphoria? How does that affect you? I said this before. Generally, I think that if you understand that you are trans, there's a level of dysphoria. In order to make that connection, I think there is a level of dysphoria, because like I grew up feeling really ill-fitted to be a girl, and knowing that there was something amiss that was dysphoria, I just didn't have words for it. I think I'm really lucky in that bodily dysphoria isn't really about gender for me, and I've been making a lot of progress on any issues I have in my body image as a result of like eating disorders or weight, or you know, that sphere of things. It feels much more disconnected, and I think that's it's a good thing. It's like, well, body issues aren't a good thing, but you get what I mean. So social dysphoria is more what I feel. But then again, like I said before, I've never had the level of respect that I have in my life when I'm at college or interacting with my friends or my tutors from college. So I think the amount of dysphoria I have socially is much lower now, because like 40 hours of a week, a general college week, I'm being correctly gendered, which is important. 8. Talk about children. Are you interested in having children? Would you want to carry a child if that were an option for you? Do you want to be the primary caretaker of any children you may have? This is also one of those questions that stays consistent, and I don't really have much to add. I don't want to have kids. If there comes a point in the future where I am in a stable, happy, long-term relationship with another person who wants something to that effect, my first option would be foster, because the system, again, I've said this before, the system is real fucked up. I talked again about surrogacy. If I would be interested in doing that for people, although there are complications with surrogacy law in Ireland. It's complicated. I don't even really understand it. 9. Talk about money. Is it important for you to provide for a family financially if you choose to have one? Is it important to you that you earn more than any partner you may have? Do you prefer to pay for things like dates? Are you uncomfortable when others pay for you or offer to pay for you? I hate this question, and I've hated it every single time I've made one of these videos. I feel like there is an undercurrent to the idea of I earn more than my partner, or that being something I want. The only reason I ever may want to earn more than my partner is that we need money. I feel like there's a dynamic issue there, in that if I want to earn more money than my partner, that means I'm holding it over their head. And that frightens me. And I don't want to be that person. And I don't want anyone to do that to me, because it's fucked up to want to earn more than another person, because I feel like it reinforces some sort of breadwinner role that is not needed. It's not needed. You know? And I think that it's kind of weird and comes from heteronormative ideas and roles of the nuclear family in modern day capitalism, because of course it's about capitalism. But it is important that I provide for my family, but again, that's also about capitalism, because I should inherently be safe and have food and a house over my head. I'm such a fucking socialist. I don't like people paying for dates, but it is a little bit like nice to not have to spend money, because money does stress me out. But also I don't want people to pay for me, because I also have issues. So, you know, I'm a complicated person like everyone else. 10. Anything else you want to share about your experiences with gender? I saw a Tumblr post recently that said something along the lines of, non-binary people don't need to know the history of gender in order to be non-binary. And I think that that is true. I don't need to be the scholar in every room about what gender is, because that is not, I am nowhere near qualified for any of that. However, I do also think that it is the duty of trans and non-binary people to be educated on the way that colonialism impacts gender, and the way that imperialism and empires and like occupations have decimated indigenous and native cultures to the point where many of them are struggling very, very much, and understand that the two-binary male-female understanding binary of gender is a colonial Western idea. And almost every culture in the world has some understanding of gender being more complicated than man and woman. And I think that that is very important for all of us in order to fight for our rights. Because if you're trans and you're not fighting for everyone else, then I don't want to know you. Because there's inherently a race question in gender, inherently a immigrant question in gender, a governmental capitalist questions that we need to understand in order to fight for our rights, because in order to fight for our rights we need to dismantle the systems and the intersections that impact gender. In order to do that, we need to be aware, we need to be educated, but we also need to let people who are part of those cultures and understand those things and are those genders talk. We need to let them speak. We don't need to talk for them. These people still exist, and they're struggling, and they need visibility in a way that is safe. And that is very important to me. Also, valid culture. There's a lot of tweets going around at the moment that are like, trans men are men, trans women are women, non-binary people are valid, which I fucking hate. It's so annoying. Like, just say I'm non-binary, because I am. Like, rule of threes, dude, just commit, please. Gender fucking sucks, and we need to dismantle the systems that make gender suck, because gender's actually kind of fun when you don't have to make it suck. Is that everything I wanted to say? Maybe. Black Lives Matter, support sex workers, support trans people, fight for your rights, wash your hands, and wear a mask. Just a reminder, it really is this easy to not be a dick. But yeah, it's everything. Go wash your hands. See you later.